Touchdown Tampa Bay. You're listening to the PewterCast.
Welcome to the PewterCast Live. Buccaneers win over the Denver Broncos pretty decisively. My name is Brent Allen. I'll be your host for tonight, joined as always by my good friend, my co-host, Ren, bundling up Dax. Ren.
I was at the game. It was cold.
You missed the game because you were at the game. Is that what you said?
I was at the game. I was at the game. This is my Denver sweater.
Nice. All right. I saw some people certainly bundled up back there. I don't know what that's like, to be honest with you. But, you know.
Put on a sweater. Join us.
I'm not that cold.
I'm not cold either. I think by the end of the show, I think I'm going to be sweating.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's all right. The things we do for the entertainment of others. I would like to say welcome, speaking of others, to all those of you who are joining us live, wherever you are, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, maybe you're at our own webpage, thepewtercast.live. Hello to all of you guys. And for anyone who is joining us, the many thousands of you that do on the podcast feed later, hello to you guys as well. Feels good, Ren. It's a good day to be a Buccaneers fan.
Yeah, man. Like, when's the last time you haven't had to sweat one out?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
You know, like this game is over at halftime and you kind of knew it. You're like, okay, well, let's just see. Like, we want one more score.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't happen. And then the safety came and it was like, okay, like it's over.
Right.
Like,
right. But before that, you're like, we let them score. They're coming like when they got that score right before halftime.
No, I
wasn't.
Because it's the same thing we did. It was the same thing we did against the Panthers. That's like I had to talk the caller down last week. It's like they don't want the people to go out of bounds and they don't want to beat them over the top. So they had to go down the field 7 yards at a time, and they did. Right. Now, am I a big fan of prevent defense? No. I would rather have make a quarterback like Jeff Driscoll throw the ball 40 yards, and drop it in the bucket than have him throw it 10 times. But, we'll see. It'll probably get cleaned up. But again, it's at the end of the day, would they score 10 points?
10 points. Yeah. It was 28-10, I think was the final score.
They scored 10 points. So defense more than did their job.
More than did their job. They did their job. What was it? 5 sacks, I think. My printer is, if you guys hear it in the background, is just now printing out the stats because I had a little snafu getting started and couldn't get on my normal stuff.
Updates. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. And listen, it never fails. It never, ever fails. As soon as you sit down to start this, if you didn't preset your stuff, I'm telling you, any of you guys do live streams, set your stuff up an hour before the show or at halftime or whatever, because as soon as you do, there's going to be an update and, it's going to just delay you and all. Anyway, we're not here to cry about that or whine about any of that kind of stuff.
I would like to ask you, which one of the 2-yard Leonard Fournette runs did you like best?
Like my children, I liked them both equally.
I think there was more like 7 of them. You have 7 kids.
It seems like it sometimes, but that is not true. Anyway, we are here definitely to talk about this Tampa Bay Buccaneers Denver Broncos game. Ren.
Yes.
Before we
open together, Brent.
Sorry. I'm trying to do like 3 things all at once.
We could have
playing the wrong intro music at the very front of the show.
We could have waited like another 3 minutes. Like we were late already.
I know. It's just I just got before we open up the phone lines, because we got people blowing up the chat. We got people that are blowing up the views and everything. These numbers are climbing higher and higher every week.
Mm-hmm.
One big thing to talk about. And it may not seem like a lot to a lot of people, but it's a lot to us.
Oh, okay.
We are celebrating at least a little bit tonight. On YouTube, we finally surpassed the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is huge for the YouTube world. For people to get out there, it's a benchmark that YouTube uses, and once you do that, it unlocks various things
it's
around
like
the show.
Check mark in Twitter.
Not yet. I don't think so anyway.
No, it's like getting your check mark for YouTube.
It's like yes, thank you. It is. You're right.
Yeah.
So to everyone who put us over the top, everyone who has subscribed, because we started off this season round about like 800, I think, or so. And like last year, I think we were only at like 400.
Yeah.
So, it's come along really fast here over the last little bit. So thank you to everybody who's joined us. Thank you to those of you. Special shout out to our friend Corey and James Money Hill, Buccaneers YouTubers who, put out some good word and helped get that over. So
Corey he did start the final push. Putting it out there.
Certainly Corey pushed
play reaction on Twitter. And then I just, started doing a countdown with different gifts, like, 18 more, 17 more, 16 more. And my idea was like, without saying it, people would understand, like, if you want me to quit doing this, then go subscribe. Like, you only need 13 more. Like, find somebody, go to your girlfriend's phone and have her subscribe. Like, we're just going to get that spot. But yeah, it's cool. We made it.
Yeah. So definitely excited to receive all of that. And thank you once again to everybody out there. It's a big day here at the PewterCast, and we can't wait to get to see what happens as we move forward. With that, Ren, we are not here alone. As I mentioned earlier, we have lots of people that are joining us. We are going to open up the phone lines here in just one moment. People are already starting to call in, so I don't want to delay that too much longer. You guys will also be able to jump into the video chat if you choose to do that, or you can just join us in the chat room at whatever platform you are using. We'll see your comments over there and interact with you guys as best we can. Ren, before we do that, I will give you a moment before the flurry starts. Your opening thoughts on this game overall for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning 28-10, a decisive 3-score victory.
They did exactly what we needed them to do. Like, I think
by that, I'm sorry, let me clarify that. By that, you mean like we as Bucs fans, because we've talked about the psyche of the fandom for the last couple of years. Is that what you mean?
It was extremely vague.
Yeah.
I think Mickey Mouse got in trouble, had to fight a giant because he used too many pronouns. Look it up. Yes. I think the Buccaneers did what we as fans hope they would do, or at least expected them to do, because the week started off and it was just, oh geez, we're going to blow these guys out. No competition whatsoever. And then you start to dive a little deeper and go, wait, Denver's defense is pretty good. Like, they're really good. Like, in run defense, and they still got some pass rushers, and they've been in both games. They were 1-score games, and they played 2 really good teams. So, and of course the old Buck record against playing rookie quarterbacks or backup quarterbacks is terrible. So there was this sort of like uneasy feeling, but I said, this is the game. These are the games that Tom Brady was brought in to win. Like, I don't care what it looks like, just win the game. And I also said, if you don't turn the ball over, you'll win. I guarantee. Denver's going to have a lot of 3-and-outs. Driscoll's going to put the ball in harm's way, which he did. And eventually, that defense just couldn't match up with all the weapons. But so it all worked out. I guess the best thing, that I liked about the whole game, of course, the first half and the second half was very different, was that we ran out the clock with the run.
Yeah,
and that's something that we haven't been able to do for a few years, where it's just like okay, we're gonna line up and run the ball 3 times and get a first down and end the game. And we did it. Yeah,
I liked it. Ren, why don't we go ahead and open up for the callers? You guys want to call in, you guys can do that. That phone number, 864-729-BUCKS. That's 864-729-2827. And would you look at that? It's almost as if people have us on speed dial, Ren. We have our first caller. You are on the line with Brent and Ren for the PewterCast Live.
Holy cow.
Who do we got here with a lot of wind in the background?
Somebody skateboarding.
That probably is me, Keon.
Hey, Keon, what's going on,
Keon?
I'm walking home from the game feeling gassed, and I'm looking at Antoine Winfield Jr., seeing how he affects the game as a rookie. Week 3 looks like rookie of the year contender to me. Our defense is playing lights out. That's why we won this game, in my honest opinion. The offense the offense isn't really scaring me too much. I think that they're still going through growing pains. Gronk was featured a lot more and was effective. So I'm very excited about the upcoming week and thinking that we are well on our way. We are well on our way. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, if you think about what the offense looked in week 1 against the Saints, it looked a lot like a Bruce Arians offense. And that was kind of sort of the national talk around, you know, the talking heads and the ESPNs and the Foxes and stuff. And then week 2, you know, Brady threw his backs a lot more and threw underneath a lot more, and then took his shots down the field, you know, when he could, or when he wanted to, or when he had to. And you saw more of it this week. And I think the most encouraging thing was, you know, 23 points with a blocked extra point. And Brady was off in the first half. Like, he wasn't sharp. He wasn't terrible. Like, but he wasn't sharp. He missed some wide open throws. Like, he missed OJ Howard in a seam route against the defensive end. You know, he threw it short. He missed Gronk on a touchdown, let him out of the back of the end zone. You know, there was more plays left to be had. I'm excited that the defense came and showed up, and what I like about the defense so far this year, and I think it's going to sort of continue going forward, is when we talk about the weaknesses of the other team, it shows up. You know, like we talked about, I can't remember how many times we're playing the Lions and their offensive line isn't good, and we come out with like a half a sack, and you know, they threw for 340 yards and like 2 scores, and it's like where was, like, I thought their offensive line was supposed to be any good. Like, where was the pressure? But you know, what other offensive teams are lacking? The defense are really, they're making them glaring holes. Like, you know, I talked about Vita Vea. I mean, like, they got a rookie center who's struggling. Vita Vea had a great game. I talked about how their tackles aren't very good. You know, Shaq Barrett probably going to get a sword from somebody today. You know, he got 2 sacks and a safety. So, I know everyone's waiting for the offense to put 4 quarters together, but if you're going to give me 28 points a game and no turnovers, like, you're going 11-5.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. When you say you're not scared about the offense, what do you mean by that?
Well, say last week at Carolina, I saw the drop, and I saw the miscues. I saw that we were getting 2 yards a carry, basically. And I'm like, if this continues, you know, they're not going to be able to put up a whole lot of points. And this is Carolina. I mean, I know that we got out of there with the win, but we play better teams, and we continue with that. We're not going to get – there's going to be games that we're going to rely on the offense. The defense is going to do their job. I have no doubt about that. But then the offense is tasked to do their job, just the minimum, not even be high-flying like I believe that they can be. But if they can't – if those things – like, that's what I saw the first 2 weeks. It's like, if those can't get resolved, we may have a problem. And it wouldn't be Tom Brady, like the other players and whatnot. So I know that some people get scared about that. It's like, oh, they can't run. But again, you said it earlier. We had the ball in the 4th quarter, and we're able to run and get first downs and end this game. No trouble. The defense weren't out too long. And I'm like, okay, this is still a work in progress, but there's something here. You know, we have
it's a win. It's a big win. They went in there and won by 18 points on the road. It's a big win. Like, you can only play this in front of you. I feel you, man. There's never going to be a perfect game. There never is. But this is a team that went on the road and did exactly what people thought and they should do, and they did it. Now, did they win 45-10? No, they didn't. But the defense looked awesome, and the offense, the pieces were there. You saw it. It was great in the first half. And Brady, like, was off. Like, he was missing people big time, like badly. And they were still just marching up and down the field. And in the second half, the offense started to shoot themselves in the foot, holding penalties and this, that, and the other thing. In the second half, they could sort of never get going. But the defense came up, got a safety. The offense ended up getting a field goal late. And then when they had to sort of like, hey, we're not going to let you have the ball back, they did it, and they did it with Ronald Jones.
Yeah. And
RB1, by the way.
They did. Ronald Jones, 13 carries for 53 yards, 4.1 yards a carry.
I'll take it.
There you go. But like I'm looking at some of these stats. I mean, the Buccaneers did not have over 400 yards total on the day.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I'm starting to believe. This is what I'm starting to wonder. Ren, you tell me if this seems true to you.
Okay.
Remember when we have Jameis, and Jameis would have these 400-yard games passing?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you'd just put up these monster numbers all the time. And we'd sit here and go, look at our offense. We're a top 5 offense, top 10 offense. But you look at the thing that actually matters, which is your record. And we weren't.
Right.
And I'm looking at this and I'm going, I'm okay to not be a high flying, like super powered, putting up all these numbers kind of an offense if it means we win. And I think that there's a reason, we've said this for a while, right? Like if you're having to throw the ball that much, you've lost. You're because you're throwing from behind, right?
Your defense stinks.
Exactly. And so when you're not in that position, you don't have to do that. So Keon, thank you so much for your call. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I got a couple other people lining up to get in here, and we'll talk to you next week. I think that's Keon being on twice first 2 weeks in a row. So thanks,
nice.
Keon, for calling.
And one other thing I will say, while we're waiting for a caller, Keon was saying, eventually we're going to have to, lean on this offense, which I agree. But look at the schedule. Who you got? Green Bay in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you got the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Like the Saints? Atlanta? Like it can't stop nobody.
Right.
They've blown like 2 16-point leads in back-to-back weeks.
Right.
Like that in the fourth quarter. Like, who's left? Who am I missing?
Yeah.
Chicago Chargers. Who am I missing?
Man, that Falcons game, that's the one. I think, like most people, that's the one I was watching before the Bucs game today. Missed the first 5 minutes of the Bucs game because they had to play that game all the way to the end. And I just, oh my gosh.
You're out of market.
Morris, Dirk Cutter, all that's. Do what now?
You're out of market.
I'm out of market. Yeah.
Because the Buccaneers app now shows it. They show the game live on video, but you have to be in market. Like you have to be.
I got a VPN. I can make that happen. I have a VPN.
Put in the Tampa Bay market.
Ren, we've got somebody who wants to join the live stream here with us. Joining us is Wash. I believe I have that right. As soon as the video clears in here, there he goes. Wash.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
What's that movie where everyone's staring at something? What was it?
Yeah.
Wash,
I think your internet might have frozen, so I'm gonna give you a second to get that fixed, and we're gonna bring somebody else in who we have on the video chat waiting to come in. Our good friend John. John, what's going on, buddy?
John,
not much. What you guys up to?
Oh, nice mic. How you doing, buddy?
There you go.
Yeah, it's not bad.
There you go. Talking Buccaneers Broncos.
Yeah, just like I wrote in my article on our Tampa Bay Clutches website, like this was going to be an 18-point game, one way or another. I was kind of hoping it to be a little bit more high scoring, but I'm almost. I'm going to give it to at least the Packers game to pull out that old Warren Sapp cliche. Give us 10 points and we'll win you the game.
No. I mean, nobody's that good. Nobody's that good.
No, but I mean, just
what he said though, just to be fair, I think what Warren Sapp said was,
it was 7.
You give us 7. You give us 17, and we'll put you a W.
Yeah.
I mean, this team isn't that good just yet, but it feels like it. Like their defense has stepped up. This is now 10 straight games where they have been on point. It's just like BA said in his press conference earlier. we wanted to keep this team together on defense, and Tom Brady was just a bonus. So it just goes back to maybe this will be a defense wins championships mentality again.
I love Todd Bowles' defense. I am Ren. I saw you put out a tweet, which a rare mid-game Rendax tweet.
True.
Saying you wanted Ryan Succup's babies. And I almost tweeted back to you going, well, last year you said you wanted Todd Bowles' babies. So whose is it? Or are you just getting around?
Love is a fickle bitch, Brent. Bounce around,
Listen, my biggest thing about the whole offseason that I kept saying was, if we keep the defense together, if the defense picks up where they left off, and if you guys remember when we said that the last time after that big 5-game win streak under Mike Smith, and then we brought him back, and they had a really good first game with the Bears, and then it all went to crap there for the next 2 years and then some. And I was trepidatious, to say the least, about would this defense pick up where they left off from last year. 3 games in,
they already look on point.
I'm gonna do what now?
I said 3 games in, they're looking like they're playing midseason form already.
They do. Now that's not to say that there can't be a drop off, but I don't think there's gonna be.
It's time to believe in the defense.
Yes. Say that again, Ren.
It's time to believe in the defense. Pack away all your worries about if the secondary is going to hold up, if Devin White's going to take the next step, how the interior defensive line is going to look. JPB being old, can Shaq match his last year's production as Anthony Nelson got on the field and freaking flashed a bunch of times
too.
Yeah. So it's time to start believing in the defense. And if you believe in the defense, of course you're going to believe in Tom Brady. He hasn't even played close to a perfect game yet. If you really, I can't say that.
Well, no, I mean, you're right about that. Like we saw at least one time today, if not before, where it was another, call it miscommunication or whatever, between him and Mike Evans. It was just
to me, it looked like it was an overthrow.
Yeah, and then
he overthrew quite a few people, and then on the Mike Evans slant where he dropped it, that wasn't a good pass. I mean, Mike should have caught it,
right? But
it was knee high, rifled at him from 7 yards away. Remember, it was my biggest complaint after the Saints game. Where's this hitting him in stride on the numbers crap I heard about for 4 weeks in training camp? Right. Now, again, I'm not complaining. I think it's going to come, but that's the exciting part about this team. It's now, when you want to hang your hat, what are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? They're good defensively, and they got a lot of weapons on offense, and they're this close.
Yeah.
To being a complete team, a complete top 5 team.
You know what you
and
just
today was also their best game so far this year too. No turnovers, and we haven't had one of those games in a long time.
They keep getting better and better. And Ren, you know what you just did was you just defined finally the identity of this team.
Well, they did it.
Well, no, but you put it into words.
I did.
You did.
Yeah. I spoke it into
I'm
existence.
giving you props here, Ren. Take it and run with it, okay?
I did it first.
Coin it once a quarter every time somebody says it. But you're right. They're good defensively, and they've got all the pieces on offense to put up some points and do what they need to do and win on the back of the defense. So, John, you got anything else for us before we get you out of here, buddy?
No, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts. What do you think about Winfield so far? And how
I don't know why we drafted him.
They're measuring him
for the entire show.
They're measuring him for his bust in Canton already. He's already Ring of Honor. They're taking down John Lynch and putting Winfield's name up there.
No, Ren. No, you didn't know. You didn't read the second part of it. The second part is they're actually going to put Winfield's name on the other side of the stadium, and he'll have the entire side of the stadium. It'll just be him by himself.
Oh, I heard that it's going to be renamed
where it goes all the way. Not just his
I heard it was going to be renamed Antone Winfield Stadium. They're dropping Raymond James.
Yeah,
that'll be possible in about 3 years.
Yeah. Well, when Antoine keeps doing what he do, he's going to make enough money that he could probably replace Raymond James.
Yeah,
John,
his process is so fast.
Thanks,
John. Winfield's process is so fast. And when the SMB went down, he came in and played nickel. And
Jamel Dean stepped back, and so we've suffered an injury at SMB. SMB will probably be out at least a few weeks. It looks like it's a hamstring injury. I know that BA was all like, well, we'll see, but they do that every time. This is probably
because they have to see.
Exactly. It's probably going to be a few weeks. If you're a betting man, you got to say that. But the defense didn't drop off.
No,
at least not that huge. Like they still stuck in there.
No, Mike Edwards came up with a one-handed pick.
There you go.
That was a nice pick, and he had a nice return on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to see. It was really good to see because he didn't progress as fast as the other guys last year. The other two rookies, SMB and Jamel Dean, and then he got replaced by the new guy in town.
Right.
Winfield, and then he comes in and he gets a pick, and I think it was as a Bucs fan, it was nice to see, and I think it's going to go a long way for the young man.
I want to talk about Mike Edwards for just a moment. Let's stick with that because Jordan Whitehead had a really nice game this week.
He did,
and we like Jordan Whitehead, and
no blown zone coverages.
There you go. We love Antoine Winfield Jr. We like Jordan Whitehead. Mike Edwards is coming on.
No.
What do you? I think is the ongoing battle now between Whitehead and Edwards. And what do you think as far as that in the future? Where would you like to see that wind up? Do you want to hand that over to Edwards? You think eventually? Does he have the higher ceiling than Whitehead?
Well,
what do you think about that?
For Todd Bowles defense, he does is because he's multiple. He can also play basically they weren't looking at Edwards. They were looking at Josh Allen at Kentucky.
Right.
And every time they talked to somebody, tell me about Josh Allen, Mike Edwards' names would come up. So they started looking at Mike Edwards, and he just sort of fell in their lap there in the third round. He is a guy that is he's a Todd Bowles safety player. He's the mold. He's big. He can cover sideline to sideline, and he can play nickel, and he can play box. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't click as quick as everybody else or as quick as the Bucs wanted him to. And then even if he did, here comes Antoine Winfield, and he's sitting there in the second round, and he's an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to take him. So, going forward, I think, what the Bucs are or what Todd Bowles is hoping, I should say, is that it's an Edwards Winfield safety because now you can do all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamel Dean may never see the field. Because they could put Winfield in the nickel and bring on Whitehead.
Yeah.
That's what, or it all depends on the matchup. It is it's very exciting. One of the best coverage plays near the end of the game. Again, I thought Devin White was getting tired and kind of getting, he's becoming a liability in the middle of the field late in the game. Then one of the best coverages of the game, I look up and it was Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett was covering the cross guy. And I was like, oh, yep, Todd Bowles defense.
I want to put a pin in that because I want to come back to that. We've got somebody who wants to join us in the chat, but that you said something there that I want to dip back to with the Devin White getting tired in the fourth quarter. So remind me to make sure we come back to that. But for now, we got our good friend John joining us wearing the white jerseys. John, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, guys. Nice win. Definitely, it was nice to see finally a safety after so long. Yeah, since 2016. God,
I was just gonna ask. I'm like, John, I know you know when it was. Just say it. 2016, you say?
Yeah, it was since 2016. So it was. Oh, we've been almost 4 years without a safety.
Who were we playing?
I don't know exactly. I forgot the game, but I remember.
Let me down.
Sorry.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
4 years ago, man. That's when we still. That's when we still believed in Jameis Winston.
That's true. What else? Sorry, I had to let the cat out. What else, John? What you got? What'd you like? What didn't you like?
I liked the defense, especially. Like Antoine Winfield. He'll be one of those guys who have the story of how the hell did he get out the first round, and how the hell did he not was the first pick of the second round?
He'll be the Chris Godwin of this year's draft.
Yeah,
everybody will go redraft him and put him in top
15, the Las Vegas Raiders will get him with the 14th pick, something like that, some shit like that.
I think I think both of the picks this year, the first two picks, Winfield and Wirfs and Devin White, will be players that
cornerstones essentially of this team.
Yeah, when you look back in 5 to 7 years, you'd be like, how could anybody ever have passed on any of these guys? Even with Devin White being picked at 5, even being picked that high, it's like he could have, like, he's playing well enough.
He's definitely playing better than Clean Farrell and Quentin Williams. Like, he could have been the 3rd pick.
Yeah, well, thank God he wasn't. Thank God for the Raiders.
Yeah, they whiffed on him. They whiffed and drafted Clean Farrell. What the hell? Even people were wondering what the hell was up with them.
Mm-hmm.
So what? So besides the defense, what else, buddy?
I liked how Gronk was more involved. Definitely, like, he's definitely trying to silence the haters. So I liked how he was catching the ball. Like, I was like, okay, not bad. 3rd down catches, not bad. We need to see more, but this is a start. This is the start that we need. That gives us hope that, okay, maybe Gronk wasn't just here to be a blocker, and maybe he is there to be a 3rd down guy, who you can be reliable on 3rd down and stuff. So
I thought he looked the most athletic, not old Gronk. Apparently Dorothy found the oil can right before the game and oiled him up. I
got a fun fact for you guys about Gronk.
Let's hear it.
Let's go.
Gronk had the most number of receptions in tonight's game.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He had the most with 6. Godwin had 5. Believe it or not, Mike Evans had 2 catches for 2 yards
and 2 touchdowns.
And we're okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I almost tweeted that out during the game. I'm like, Mike's not going to get 1,000 yards this year, but he might get 1,000 touchdowns.
He'll break the record, and then people will be like Michael Thomas. Be better than Michael Thomas.
You're not allowed to say that name on this pod, John.
Yeah. Don't worry, he's injured.
And guard Mike. That's what we call him.
Don't worry. Next time we face him, we'll injure him again.
There you go. All right, John, you got anything else for us before we let you go, buddy?
Yeah. One thing I gotta say though is that if I were to give maybe like a skull for this game, I would probably say Donovan Smith.
I knew it. We'll get to him. He's
the skull today. Skull.
Yeah. We'll see. There's a couple, but I think Donovan certainly is in the talk there. So thanks again, John. We'll talk to you next week. All right, buddy.
All right. See ya.
All right. Yeah, you know what I love, Ren? This is fun. So we brought back that old Swords and Skulls segment from our friend Derek over at What the Buck, and people are already jumping on it. I've seen a handful of people in the chat say that, and John just brings it. He's like, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now who it is. That's not to the end of the show.
The only reason I'm calling.
Yeah,
I'm giving my skull and sword, and I'm dipping.
There you go. All right, I think Wash is back. Let's try to bring Wash in here and see what he's got for us. Wash, welcome to the show. What's going on, buddy?
There he is.
How's it going?
Hey, Wash. Good to see you. Wash was one of the people that when I watched the second round of the draft day 2 of the draft with Zoom, it was just a handful of us, and Wash hung out with us there. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you. And let me see if I remember what you said.
Oh, Jesus.
OMG, another safety. Eat your words.
I thought I pretty much had killed everyone that had heard that. Yeah, I was not wanting a safety because I thought Mike Edwards was versatile enough to go in there, and I didn't mind Whitehead, and I wanted an outside pass rusher or an interior defensive lineman. That's what I wanted. But once they drafted him, if you've listened to the show, I know you have, I said he was probably the only guy. Now that I've looked at him, he's probably the only guy that I'm okay with superseding, not going with the defensive tackle or defensive end, which they didn't go till like round 6, but whatever. Yes, I was not on the Winfield train, that is for sure.
But he is now.
Yeah, the defense looked fantastic today.
Right.
Watched the whole game. I loved how the announcers, they don't know any of the Tampa Bay players because, when they made the call on Tristan Wirfs, and that obviously wasn't him that did hands to the face.
Right.
They never went back.
Call Devin White, Devontae White?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Boy. But yeah,
I mean, he was singing his praises. He was right there next to Levante, and I can see how that would happen, but still.
The biggest thing on the show, the show, the biggest thing on the game that it kind of reminded me back of the 0-2 Bucs. The speed of how the defense just was going to the ball. Always went there. No hesitation. So.
Yeah, it seemed like every time, a Bronco had the ball, there's two guys there. And not only was two guys there, like they're bringing the wood. I think they scared Noah Fant. He didn't want to catch anymore. After his first couple catches, he was like, I'll just drop it. Like, I'll drop it.
Right. And by the end of the game, Ren, you were talking about our guys getting gassed by the fourth quarter. Their guys were getting gassed by the fourth quarter as well. And you started like Noah Fant, man, he got blown up. And I don't remember if it was JPP. I think it was JPP or something.
It was JPP, yeah.
Blew him to I don't know where, I can't say on this show. But it was something. So Wash, I just have to ask, just because
I'm asking too. I'm asking first. I'm asking first.
Nothing to do with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm asking first. Walk us through your Star Wars figurines there in the case.
I gave you 30. Wash. Just for those who are listening to the audio podcast of this later, Wash behind him has an original Star Wars, the first movie poster. He's got a set of collectible action figures there. I see a something for R2D2 and C3PO, and it's getting a lot of love on the wall. It's getting a lot of love over in our chat room, so that's why we're bringing it up.
Oh, is it? I didn't even notice. I was going to ask. And behind him, he has in a frame, matted in a baby Chargers blue. I'm assuming they're the original Miko, or no, they weren't Miko. Who were they from? Mattel. Mattel looks like Star Wars figures. So can you walk us like who you got up there? I mean,
actually, all of those were all the original ones from the first movie.
Right.
I'm still working on for Empire Strikes Back and then for Return of the Jedi later on. But I tried to make it the blue background, kind of like the blue back on the original card was always a blue back. So that was just kind of a kind of a throwback to those. I've always loved the original trilogy. This new stuff's junk, but
yeah.
Sorry, this is just our other fandom coming out in us. That's all this is. So, Wash, man, you got anything else for us before we let you go for tonight, buddy?
No, I'm good. I want to go ahead and get off. Let somebody else get on.
Wait. Does your Jawa have a cloth or vinyl cape?
It has a vinyl cape. I don't have one with the cloth. I've been looking for them, but I can't find it. Okay. That I want to spend money for.
Hey, right, listen, Buccaneers fans out there, to the sound of our voice, if you find a Jawa with a cloth cape, save it for Wash. Let us know. We'll see if we can't get you on.
Does Luke have a blue or a red lightsaber?
He has a yellow lightsaber.
Yellow. Yeah, it's blue or yellow. Yeah, not red. Blue or yellow. Okay.
Yeah, it's yellow.
All right, Let's bring it back in. Wash, thank you so much, buddy. Let's talk to you on a future week. Please come back and talk to us, all right?
Will do.
Right. Anytime you can make Ren eat his words, I'm all for it.
It's true, he is.
Guys, phone line's open. Anybody who wants to call in, the number's 864-729-BUCKS. That's 864-729-2827. You call in. We will take that phone call. We will talk about whatever you want to talk about. Just go ahead and interrupt us. It's cool. We'll come back to whatever we're talking about, unless we forget what we were talking about, and then we won't. Or you can join us like 3 people in a row have right here in the video chat, which is always super fun as well.
3. Did I miss one?
Yeah, we had John.
John.
The other John, and we had Wash. So,
yeah. So I need someone to do some investigative reporting and find out exactly how hurt Donovan Smith is before I just write him off for dead. Because I am tired of his lazy ass. Mm-hmm. That lazy mother effer. I am so tired of it.
You think he's hurt? You think that's what it is? Is this year he's hurt?
He's been hurt since last year. Like this, I'm almost positive the knee that he was on, on and on. Like he didn't miss a game, but he'd be like, injury report, day 1, Donovan Smith, knee, limited, full play. Right. Well, now it's like that started after week 2. His knee was like limited, full play. So, I mean, if it's something that's not going to heal, even with having a whole off season off, or it's so tender or weak that, just a game or two, it's going to spring back up. Like, that's almost as a debilitating injury, because if that's what's making him play the way he is, like, I just get, but I can't even think it is, because I don't see it. Plus, you can take cortisone shots, but just the like complete just giving up like 5, 6, 7 plays a game. I'm over it. I'm just over it.
Yeah. And as we talked about, was it last week or maybe 2 weeks ago? Unfortunately, as it is right now, we're stuck with him, and you've got to believe right now, as the team sits right now,
right?
Number one position of need going into the draft next year, left tackle.
No. Well, is Sue coming back?
Is
Shaq Barrett coming back? Is JPP coming back?
I mean, those are all good points, but okay, for the sake of argument, let's say no to all of them.
Okay.
Shaq gets away, JPP retires, Sue retires, or wherever they go.
Mm-hmm.
Is left tackle not still more important?
Nope.
Because,
well, one, you can flip Wirfs. I'm almost to the point where flip Wirfs now and play Haig.
Wow.
Like, I'm really close.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Tristan Wirfs has been nothing but stellar for a rookie. No preseason. None. It's gone up against Cam Jordan. He didn't really have a big test against the Panthers, but no one ever got close. He went up against Chubb half the time today.
Right.
Chubb beat him one time on the inside, which I think Rojo sort of saw and got around it. Because, if Rojo just would have took a step back or a step to the side, Wirfs would have pancaked him. And he did beat him on the inside. It was like nothing. He's had one false start in 3 games. How many penalties has Donovan Smith had? That hands to the face was on Donovan Smith. It was.
Mm-hmm.
He had another holding penalty.
How about the one that they assigned to Wirfs?
Yeah.
But it was on Donovan. Yeah.
I don't know if it was on Donovan. I didn't see the replay, but it definitely wasn't on Wirfs.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 holding penalties for Donovan Smith.
Yeah.
Pressures.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
yeah.
I mean,
I gave him a break earlier in the game, but as the game went on, it's just
laziness.
It is.
It's just not giving a crap.
Or he physically can't do it.
Yeah, or it's his knee.
Yeah.
But at one point, Allie blocks the end, and they're doing a game and they're looping in, and Allie passes the guy off to Donovan, and Donovan just kind of like patty cakes him and kind of lays on him.
Yeah.
And he spins off, and it was when Chubb got a sack. And then Chubb spins off and sacks Brady. Yeah. And he's just like,
We don't need to eat 2 roster spots with one position. Like, we don't need the left tackle should not have to have Allie or a tight end to help him out on every play.
Yeah.
Just it shouldn't happen. I'm not saying it shouldn't ever happen. I'm saying it shouldn't have to happen almost every single play, which is the way that it seems like is playing. And just for the record, Ren, somebody said it in the chat, and I looked it up just to be sure. We do have JPP for next year, so he won't be going anywhere.
Yeah, I knew that.
So anyway, phone lines open 864-729. 864.
He could get abducted by aliens.
That could be true, or he could get in another car. Well, see, but even if he got abducted by aliens, even if he got probed, even if they took out his bones and put them back in, JPP is still going to come back and play.
Oh, but
that's who JPP is.
Yeah, but you're assuming he comes back at all.
Oh, he'll come back.
Oh, he'll come back.
He'll come back. He may have some implants. But
he'll sack the navigator. That'd be a great cartoon.
He'll be back from outer space.
That's a great Saturday morning cartoon. JPP in space gets abducted.
Oh my gosh. JPP is a Saturday morning cartoon character. Can we please make that?
Shooter out there. Hams on the alien. He just goes ham on the aliens and pilots the ship back.
Please, let's make that happen. Ren, I want to go back to something that I was going to ask you a few minutes ago before we took a phone call. And like I said, guys out there, you know our rule. If you want to interrupt us, do it 864-729-BUCS or join the video chat. That link is over in the chat room. You were talking about Devin White getting tired in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And something that we saw happen tonight is by the time we got to the fourth quarter, there was a lot of penalties. The penalties skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And it would be unfair to sit there and say they were all bullshit penalties because they weren't.
They weren't.
Is a part of the skyrocketing penalties in the fourth quarter, which is so maddening when they basically felt like they were swallowing the whistle in the first half of the game. Is that because the players are starting to get more sloppy, just the more tired they get? Do you think that has a big factor?
Well, obviously it has something to do with it, but I don't really remember penalties on the defense. Like, I don't like was there an offside? I think there was 2 offsides maybe, but I don't remember guys grabbing
offsides.
I don't really remember guys grabbing or the cornerback.
He lined up in the neutral zone. That's what he did.
Yeah, line up in the neutral zone. Like, I really don't remember on the defense. The offense is a totally different story.
Right.
They couldn't get out of their own way. It was like holding, and and the announcers were like, Schlereth was like, well, I saw Jensen. Well, I saw Donovan Smith. Okay. Like, I saw Howard. I saw, and if that holding call was on Howard, where they called it on Kappa twice.
Yeah.
That was a bull crap call.
All right, let's talk about Kappa.
Sure.
Because Kappa also did not have a good game.
No, he let in a pressure. Yeah, I think he was responsible for first sack. Yeah, he didn't have his best game.
I think the first sack came off of him, but there were other plays where Wirfs did not have his best game. Now, Wirfs, I think, had a fine game. Don't hear me wrong when I say this. Of his 3 games, though, this was his least fine.
His worst. You can say it's worst game.
Yeah, I mean, it was but I don't want it to come across like I'm saying it was a bad game for Wirfs.
Well, smart people will understand what you're saying.
Right. But it was.
They're all a 97, a 96, and a 93. They're all A's, but 93 is my worst score.
Yeah, exactly. And this would be the 93 for Wirfs today. But Kappa had like a 76.
Okay.
And Donovan Smith.
I don't have a problem with Kappa yet. He doesn't, because everyone's allowed to have a game. Like, Jensen didn't have a good game.
Mm-hmm.
The only person who really had a good game was Marpet. Donovan Smith didn't have a good game. Jensen didn't have a good game.
I didn't notice Jensen tonight. What happened with him?
He had a couple holding penalties. He let up some pressures up the middle. I was surprised, even though people kept telling me, I guess it was just because Von Miller was gone. People kept telling me that this defensive pass rush was still pretty good. Like, they have some guys there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I was
had Harris. That was about it.
But I was a little shocked about, but then in the second half, Tom held the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he held it a lot. They for the most part, he had really good protection until he started holding the ball for a really long time.
Yeah. Ren, we've got a caller. Let's bring him in. See
okay.
Who we got here. You're on the line with Brent and Ren for the Instacast. Nope, this is the PewterCast Live. Who do we got here tonight?
Hey, it's Corey from Nashville. Hey, guys.
What's going on, Corey?
Hey, Corey. Good to hear from you again. How are you, buddy?
Not much, man. I've been good to hear from you guys as well, especially after a victory. First of all, let me just say about my weekend real quick. I'm a Laker fan.
Okay.
I'm a Hurricane fan.
Okay.
And I'm a Bucs fan.
That's a good weekend.
What a weekend.
That's a good
Did the
weekend.
Lakers win the championship? I'm serious.
No,
the Lakers.
We just made it to the finals.
They made it to the finals,
We just won the West.
Yeah. Are you also a Lightning fan? How'd that go?
Shut up, Brent.
I'm excited for the city of Tampa.
Thank you.
When it comes to, I live in Nashville, so I have to root for the Predators when it comes to hockey.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited for the city of Tampa. I mean, 2002 last championship with the Bucs. So if the city's happy, then the energy from the city's happy. Football is better. Everything from the city's happy. So I'm excited for the city of Tampa, especially after what the Lightning did last year. So, but to be fair, that team did go on and win the Stanley Cup. So that Blues team they played. So I mean, just to be fair. But so today, this is my biggest thing. I've been a Bucs fan for so long. You have to win the games you're supposed to win. How many times in the last 10 years did we watch games that we should have won and we lost?
107.
Okay? So see, there you go. So so there's a maturation point and a growing point for us as a franchise and as a team to win the games we're supposed to win, whether on the road, whether we have people injured, whether we get someone injured during the game. If we're the better team, we should go out there, out-execute, and look like the better team. So I was very excited about that today. I don't have really any negatives. I see we're pretty much a carbon copy. We're going to use Tom Brady's strength, and that's fine. I'm not going to beat him up for Mike Evans catching 1-yard routes. I'm fine. Because we won, first of all, and we were the better team. I think what's going to be underestimated, or what has been underestimated, is I don't think anyone – we had a solid defense those last 5 games, but our defense looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
That's one carryover from last season and from these first 3 games that I am watching. I don't care who we've been playing, because right after we played the Saints, what did everybody say? Oh, man, Drew Brees looks old. Okay, fine. That's week 1. Let's say he looks old, okay? But then we go next week and we play Carolina. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't turn the ball over. 2 quick turnovers. 2 out of the first 4 possessions. 2 quick turnovers. I'm like, oh, okay, hold on now. Let me watch something. Then we go across the country on the road. I get it was Jeff Driscoll, but we did not do things. We didn't take our opponent for granted, and we've done that in the past. I will stand by the statement that Carlton Davis is the best tackling corner in the NFL. It's not even close. That guy hits like a strong safety. He had a hit on Jake Butt. Y'all, Jake Butt is 6'7", 280. He had a hit on Jake Butt today when I was just like, man, that guy. But he's been doing that since his rookie year. He's been tackling, but it's flown under the radar. That guy will come up and put his face into anybody. Mike Edwards being the playmaker we drafted him to be with a one-handed, beautiful interception. Sean Murphy-Bunting, I hope he's okay. But all he does is make plays, and I can't say enough about Winfield. My God. Oh, my God. Right now, he looks like the best safety in the league right now. I mean, you got the Honey Badger, but even the Honey Badger isn't going to make as many consistent plays as Antoine Winfield. He should have 4 sacks today. That kid is all over the place, and I'm so excited. And I just wanted to see my team go out and play a team that isn't as good as they are and beat them. That's part of the maturation. I think Green Bay is going to win tonight. So I think it's going to be the onus is going to be on us to continue being the first place NFC South team. That's my call, guys.
God bless you. Hallelujah. Go Bucs.
There you go. Go Bucs. Man.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him, but he just ended it so great. I couldn't, I can't. You got to walk out, drop the mic and walk out after that. Great call.
Great call.
But he'll call back soon. And here's my question. Is Carlton Davis the best tackling cornerback or the hardest hitting cornerback? Because I think he's a very good tackler. And I noticed it, it was one of those things, of pet peeves that, I used to pick up that Quan Alexander used to do, was the first couple of games of the year, he'd try to pro pop everybody. Right. Because that's what he'd been doing in practice for like 6 weeks. And I watched a lot of cornerbacks do it in the 1:00 game. So I was bouncing all around, even that's the reason Godwin scored the first touchdown. If that guy would have wrapped instead of just diving at his legs with, his shoulder and his back turned, if he would have wrapped him, his inertia grabbing his thighs would have dragged Godwin away from the goal line, and he would have come up short on his reach. Carlton Davis doesn't do that. He wraps. Right. Winfield wraps. SMB wraps. Whitehead wraps.
Do you remember a couple of years ago? I mean, this was the problem with Mike Smith's defense. Was the tackling? I mean, it wasn't the problem. It was one of the problems with Mike Smith's defense, because they couldn't tackle. They couldn't hold on to anybody. Well, it's like they all put butter on their hands before they go out for the game.
Yeah, but before that, like, how many times would you see wide receivers catch the ball and there's no one in the screen, like on the TV view? There was no
one of the problems.
No one being the screen.
Right.
It was amazing. I thought O.J. Howard had a really good game too. That catch on the sidelines was amazing.
Yeah.
Where he caught, he caught that guy's helmet and the ball. And also something that I haven't seen from O.J. in a while, he shook off a tackler. Like, used his side athleticism and was like, get off me, and got like 2 or 3 more yards. Usually you get near OJ, he just falls down. Like, he kind of like throw a twig in his tires, and he's like, blah, 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 and he like, goes tumbling down. But it was good to see him sort of get a little more of an aggressive attitude. But that catch was, God, that was a great catch.
I mean, that's the kind of what you're talking about here. And I had this thought in the middle of the game that I was wondering if this is the Gronk effect, because you've been saying Gronk was brought here to fix OJ Howard.
Yeah.
Like, this looks like the OJ Howard that we drafted him to be, what we saw in today's game.
Yeah.
And is it fair to say this is the first game in his 4 years that we've actually seen that, where he really looks like a hard-hitting, really strong, good blocking, good pass-catching tight end, which is what we all heard about him and knew that he was in college.
Or thought that he was in college. Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to say no, it's not. I mean, he's had some big splash plays, but anything that was a continuation, Yak, was because he was so wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, he was real easy to bring down for someone his size. It used to bother the crap out of me. But, I didn't want to sort of like dump on him, and because, he just caught like a 27-yard up the seam over the linebacker catch, and the guy just kind of like taps his heel and he falls down. I'm like, right. But, he just got a first down on 3rd and 20. So what am I complaining about? But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you. I like that. I like that a lot. Today's OJ Howard game is what Bucs fans have been expecting since he got drafted.
Right. And speaking of Gronk had a game, got more involved. He had more production.
Yeah,
all 48 yards, but still.
Exactly.
But it's those short passes over the middle of the field, right? Like, which
gets you in front of the chains on first down, or gets you just across the chains on 3rd down. It's that.
He only dropped one.
Yeah.
Or only missed the one. I don't say drop. Yeah, it was a drop, wasn't it? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was that first one. It was the first
Evans dropped one and Miller dropped one, but he had a great catch on the deep ball too. And that one that he dropped was a tough catch.
Mm-hmm.
But the one Tyler Johnson dropped, it was like, come on, man. Yeah. Like, but hey, at least we know what he looks like in his uniform now.
There you go. He made it out. Ren, we've got I want to come back to Gronk unless we wind up talking about it here. We got our good friend Prime lined up in the chat to join us. Let's bring him in. Prime. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to the show.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Man, we've missed you, man. We've missed you. What's been going on with you?
Man, like everybody else, living life, staying COVID-free, tired of all this crap. Glad that football's back.
There you go. There you go. Say it again.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm glad to be on talking with you guys today. This was a fun game to watch, and I actually had to watch it. I had to watch pretty much most of it on my phone in a furniture store with my wife, right? But I watched the whole game.
Well, what did you do? Why does she hate you so much? What did you do?
Hey, listen.
Well, they could tell you he was looking for a new bed, but he couldn't tell you why.
There's only 16 of these a year. Like, I mean, come on now.
Hey, listen, man. Look, this is how you get points for later. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have a great week.
No, you're brainwashed. This is not. No, this is how she gets points for later. There's only 16. It's only 3 hours. What's 16 times 3?
The good news is
48 hours of TV for the whole year. 48 hours of TV. I'm just kidding. What's up, man?
Good news is with the thank God for the Sunday Ticket streaming app, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was able to see everything. Thank God. Otherwise, this wouldn't have worked out.
Right.
It would not have worked out.
What do you think,
man? So a couple initial thoughts at the end of it were, okay, we found out that tight ends do exist. That's a good thing. So you just said
2 of them.
Yeah, 2 of them. You can actually have more than one at a time, right? It's pretty amazing. So, and even though Gronk's catches were short, like you said, they move the chain to keep you ahead of the chain. Though they keep drives going. If the big play is not there, if Mike's not there, if Godwin's not there, whatever, and you have Gronk or OJ for 5 or 7 or 4, that actually matters. It may not be great in fantasy, but that matters in real life football. So I was very glad to see that. And also just because it tells me that I believe it says that Gronk does feel better. He's in better shape, whatever it may be, in order for Brady to give him those looks. Because I don't think Brady was just purposely ignoring Gronk for the first 2 weeks. So something is going better in between he and Gronk and he and also OJ Howard. So that was a great look. Yo, Winfield.
Yo.
Listen. You know a player plays
Who?
great.
I'm sorry, who?
Winfield.
Heard of him. Win, capital win on the field.
Covers the whole damn field. Listen, this guy, I was excited about him week 1, excited about him week 2, looking at his play this week. I'm going, look, I don't give a shit what anybody says. We just got the steal in the draft on the defense side of the ball. This dude is this is a NFL safety, and not a just he'll do for now. This is the NFL safety that you re-sign. He reads the field well. He can blitz the quarterback, bring him down. There was a play, one of the plays where it was just a bat down, but the way that he read the play, I read somewhere how he studies tape with his dad and everything, and I'm like, yo, this dude is way ahead of his years. He doesn't play like a third game rookie.
Yeah.
He erases mistakes that the people in front of him make. So if like last week, I forgot which cornerback blew a coverage and Winfield saved a touchdown. He erases mistakes when the players who are more veteran, when they blow them. And I think that's pretty much that's all you can ask from a safety. So I'm beyond excited. Oh, appreciate you.
Hey, Mama Prime.
Hey, Baby said, hey. Wirfs did not have his best game. He didn't have his best game, but believe it or not, with the 2 games before and looking at this game, I'm going, this is his bad game. He may be a better pick than Winfield is. I think Wirfs is here for a decade.
Both of those guys, Winfield and Wirfs, are proving to be guys that you don't let get out of the building.
Period.
You re-sign them before their contract is out.
You don't play games.
It's a Chris Godwin. It's the Mike Evans. It's the Ali Marpet. Like, they're going to be in those names from now on. You don't let them out of the building.
There's no, you don't have to worry about those positions. You focus on other positions. And for the next, 4 years, you have those positions cheap.
Yeah.
So you have a cheap offensive lineman who damn near by the end of the year may grade out to be on Ali Marpet level or better, which is saying something.
Yeah. I want to talk about Winfield real quick. Because I'm glad you said this, because it was one of those nuanced things that I find, and I looked at and I'm like, that's interesting. But I think sometimes it's too much of a deep cut to bring up. But you said when he batted down the ball, Winfield comes in on the blitz, and I think Drew Lock was still on at the time, and he goes to throw the ball, and Winfield jumps up and knocks it down. You're like, okay, no big deal. But 100 times out of 100, you see the person jump at the quarterback. Like, their face mask, the quarterback's nose is with their nose. What Winfield did was he jumped at his arm and his release point, and that's why he blocked the ball. And I saw that and I went, okay, this guy, he gets it. Like, he gets it. So
that's a great point. I have a question for you. Is that tied? Do you think that what you just described is tied to the safety who is a ball hawk, the safety who is always looking for the ball, and I guess with some pass rushers, with some edge rushers, the same thing. Their focus is on the ball, not the quarterback, not the player. It's on the ball. They're trying to make the play there. So do you think that's kind of what that comes from?
I think it comes from understanding that if you're going to try to knock a pass down, it takes more than just jumping in the air. Like I think, and it's just something that I think he's smart enough to understand that my best chance, like, I'm trying to knock the ball down. I'm not trying to screen him. I'm not trying to not let him see, like in basketball, I'm not trying to get a hand in his face.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to knock down the ball. So if I'm trying to knock down the ball, then I should be jumping where the release point is, where his arm is. And I just don't see a lot of people do it. And I just think that he understands those, like, I don't know where it comes from. I just think he understands that My job is if I can't get to him, I got to knock the ball down. Okay. Then like most people would stop there. Okay. I'll just try to knock the ball down. He goes, okay, what's the what's the best way to try to knock the ball down?
Yeah.
And that's how I think. And it could have come from his dad who saw somebody do it and he emulated it. And now he passed it down, to his kid. I don't think it's because you're a ball hawk. And I don't think it's because, he's a safety and other guys are defensive linemen, but I could be wrong. That's just my interpretation, because watching him play, like you said, he erases so many mistakes in front of him. He's always in the right position. The most exciting thing about him, everything they put on his plate, he does it and he comes up big and he does it right. And he does it like perfect, so it's like, okay, go rush the passer. I think he's rushed the pass. I think I've seen him rush the pass like 5 times.
And he's got 2 sacks?
Like 2 sacks, a strip fumble, and a batted pass. It's just he just makes plays.
You make a good point. Imagine the things that Bowles has not put on his plate yet. That second half of the year, whenever Bowles feels that, hey, you can, these other parts of the plan, you can actually, let's see if you can do this. And like you said, everything you've given him, everything on his plate, he eats it. So
yeah.
Imagine the things that Bowles is not using him for just yet.
I can't believe he's good enough to when, like, we need a nickel. Like Ryan Smith doesn't come on the field, and they put Dean inside. like we were always like, who's our 4th corner? Well, now we know it's Winfield. He played nickel.
He played nickel. You mentioned that name.
3 games in, he's our 4th. He's our 4th like cornerback. Somebody goes down. It's all right. Winfield's got it. We'll bring in Edwards. His little mini.
Ryan, sit back down. You're
his
okay.
Little mini
sit back down. Take your helmet off. Get some water. It'll be okay.
Yeah, do some more
We'll
Instagram.
put you out there when we score and they kick off. All right.
I'll tell you what, man. No one loves himself more than somebody who does so little at their job than Ryan Smith on Instagram. All this guy. Oh man. Oh, it's like him taking pictures of himself and oh my god. And he's like Vernon Hargraves, man. Like he'll put up 4 pictures a day of him in a different goddamn outfit. It's like, god damn, man. Like you run down the field like 4 plays a game.
And he gets paid minimum salary.
I want to know y'all's thoughts on a couple of things.
Doesn't matter. All right, couple things, Brian. What you got?
One, will Carlton Davis be a top 5 corner by the end of the year?
No.
Yeah.
And it's not because of his coverage ability. It's because he's already 3 for 3 on PIs this year. 3 games, 3 PIs.
And so you think he's going to be too many PIs in order
for him to be able to get into discussion? It's like the Jameis Winston thing. Like Jameis Winston, he's good. Yeah, he is good. Is he a top 5 quarterback?
Now listen.
No.
I'm going to check your sheet. Check your sheet.
Before today, were y'all worried? I saw a lot of fans that were really worried about Shaq Barrett. And I saw different people post advanced stats showing that Shaq Barrett's his pressure percentage, his pressure rate is top 10, right? With pressure rate is more constant and than sacks are. Sacks take some type of luck, take chances. Certain things have to happen for you to get sacked. But pressure, he was top 10 as of last week in pressure percentage. And so today he gets 2 sacks. But when I'm looking at it, I'm like, I think he's just being consistent.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Shaq Barrett whatsoever. If you thought Shaq Barrett was going to come out and get like anywhere close to 19.5 sacks, like you're crazy. Like, like a really, really, really good year for Shaq Barrett is 15 sacks this year. That's a really, really good year.
That's an excellent year.
Yeah, that's an excellent year for everybody. Right. Like Strahan broke the record with 21. Did he come anywhere near that in his other 12 years in the league? No. Is he in the Hall of Fame? Yes.
But let me ask you guys this. Would it be disappointing if Shaq got less than 10?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. If Shaq got let's say he ended the year with 12 sacks and then an assortment of other related. So a couple, let's say 1 or 2 strip sacks. And
10 or 12 tackles for loss.
Right. Yeah. Tackles for loss. Yeah. Then I would still say you need to re-sign him ASAP. If he gets under 10, That would be yeah.
I think it's under 10. I see. Yeah, what a sack counts as a tackle for loss, I think. But anyway, the point being is if he goes less than 10, I say sign him anyway because he's gonna be a lot cheaper.
Hey, that actually makes all the sense in the world. Now, a couple things. Mike Evans, I think at this point, because of the way that his catches have worked, he has like a 40% touchdown rate. Which
got 100% touchdown rate tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing that I hate is Bowles' prevent defense. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
Or it might not be prevent. Whatever the defense is, when he stops pressuring, it seems like the players do not play that well.
Like that end of the second quarter, what we saw.
Yes.
And then even
the end of the Panthers game.
Yeah. Yes. When he calls off the dogs, it's like they don't play. And I don't know enough to be able to articulate it properly. They do not play that defense well. They know how to pressure and get it done. But once he stops pressuring, it's like things just fall apart. And so something needs to be figured out with that.
But let's go back to an earlier conversation that Ren and I were having before you jumped in, Prime. By the fourth quarter, these guys get gassed. And if you're going pressure, that's going to be the trade-off. By the time you get to the end of that game, everybody's done, right? So would you rather have it let off a little bit earlier in the game, end of the second quarter, maybe the third quarter a little bit, and then have them turn it back up in the fourth?
Okay.
Or get all the way to the fourth and not be able to do anything because they're so gassed?
All right. That's actually.
Can I have a third option and not get gassed? Be a professional athlete?
Hey,
Can I have that option?
I got a fourth option.
Sure.
I'm going to choose option number 4, meaning pressure. Yes, you can let off in the middle of the first quarter if you want to, as long as you can play that coverage.
Yeah,
but they weren't gassed at the end of the second quarter. So
but they were up by 3 scores at that point. So
yeah,
right. No, I get that. Yeah. But it's if you're up by 3 scores, I don't remember how much time was on the clock. I don't know if it was 2 minutes or something. But I still need you to be able to play quality defense when we're not blitzing.
Yeah.
If they
every professional offense can throw a 7-yard hitch in a zone defense and do that all the way down the field and score at the end of the half, because if you let them. The Bucs zone defense is nowhere near as good as when they play man-to-man right now. The 2 big busted coverages in week 1 and week 2, there wasn't any this week, but week 1 and week 2 were zone coverages. Obviously a prevent is a zone coverage. So, it drives me crazy too. It's been driving me crazy since even before Tony Dungy, when, I would watch the Bucs go in prevent defense and be up by 14 and watch Brett Favre boom, boom, boom down the field and score, within last 6 minutes of the game, the Bucs go in prevent defense and he just 15 yards down the field, bang, 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 bang. And now all of a sudden, it's they get the ball 2 minutes left and kick a field goal and game's over. Like it's been forever, but I understand it, but there's got to be some type of balance. And I thought Todd Bowles tried to fix it near the end. When end of the first half, he brought the blitz again, but by that time it was too late. They're already like inside the 20. And then they got a penalty. It's like once they cross, if you want to do that, once they get, I'm thinking like midfield. Like if they get past the 40, like the 45. Like if they get past the 45, like it's time to like, okay, if we get beat deep, we get beat deep. But if we just keep doing what we're doing, it's just going to be 45 seconds later on the game clock. And they're going to be at our 5. So but I don't know everything that's going on, but that's just where I stand. And, I'm with you on that.
If we get to the point where we can actually play non-pressure, because I think y'all make a really good point. Maybe they are getting gassed with the pressure. If we get to the point where we can play non-blitzing, non-pressure coverage and be decent at it, then this damn defense will be a problem for anybody. Period. Yeah. Because
they're a problem for anybody now.
I believe they can get pressure on. Right. I believe they can get pressure on damn near anybody. And I can't think of all the offensive lines in the league, but shit.
Now, I mean, but that brings up exactly what I want to see happen with this team. Get better as we go on. Peak at the end of the season. Like if what they're doing right now is them still getting warmed up, if this is them still figuring things out, damn, what's going to happen come December?
Yeah, hey,
you know what I mean?
Compare this to the last 5 years, the first 6 games of the last 5 years of when we're figuring things out, and what this looks like versus that.
Right. This looks better than the last 6 games when they had it figured out.
Think about this. Think about this. If we take care of business against the Chargers and Chicago, and then Green Bay comes to town on prime time in Raymond James Stadium, that place is going to be bonkers.
It's with 13,000 people.
It's going to be
I hope they lift the rules and pack that shit out.
That thing is going to be crazy.
Florida went to phase 3. Yeah.
What will be? Will be 4-1? 4-1. The Packers coming in maybe being undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, with that defense just like smothering people, and Tom starting to figure it out. Oh my God!
Jesus, man!
Tom versus Rodgers. That's Tom
versus Rodgers, and both teams are doing well. We will have the coverage all week. That game will be epic, man.
Well, we'll see what BA does wrong that week that the media wants to pick on him about. So
I was going to make a Twitter poll about like 4 things that BA is going to say wrong in the press conference after this game that everyone's going to talk about it all week, but I couldn't think of 4. So,
trust me, I didn't even listen to it, and he had 4 new things, I'm sure.
Yeah, there'll be something. Prime, you got anything else before we get you out of here, man?
Yeah, man.
I forgot we were doing. I forgot we were doing a show.
I was going to bring Prime on for the show. Sorry, everybody.
I forgot we were doing a show.
Hey,
holy shit!
Last thing. It's tangentially Bucs related.
Uh-oh.
I know
y'all. Yeah. I know you saw that Falcons game.
Yeah.
No.
I did. What? Go ahead.
Yeah. I actually damn near felt bad for the Falcons, bro. Like blowing 16-point leads 2 weeks in a row.
Okay, get him out.
And I mean,
get him out of here, Brent. Brent, get him out of here.
Damn near close to the Super Bowl.
Brent, get him out of here.
You know what, Brent? Let me make this up. I'm gonna make this right now. So,
okay.
since I'm about to leave, 2 last things. One,
it was like 3 last things ago.
And go Bucs.
This is exactly what Ren does to our interview.
Last question for me until you say something, and I want to ask about that later.
Yeah, man. Right, look, fuck the Falcons and go Bucs. All right.
There you go. I like it.
There you go. Good. There you go. Now you're welcome back anytime.
There you go. Prime, always a good guy to get in here and have talking. I mean, Ren, that's exactly why we brought him for an entire show. You know,
I love talking to Prime.
He's so easy to talk to. You just forget.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying everybody else is hard. It's just Prime is particularly easy to talk to. Ren,
laugh at my jokes. Like you'll do fine.
There you go. Ren, we've got a caller who's actually been waiting for 20 minutes.
Holy
and he's
cow.
hung on the line with us. So let's go ahead and get him in here. You are on the line with Brent and Ren. Who do we got here? Hello. Yeah, what's up, man?
Yes.
Your turn.
Yes, this is Reggie from Tampa.
Reggie from Tampa. What's going on, Reggie?
MVP of the podcast.
Hey. I listen to you guys. I listen to all of your podcasts. And I want you guys to know, I think y'all have the best Bucs podcast on the air. You
Reggie,
guys are awesome.
Thank you so much. I'm pulling this clip and playing it at the beginning of every show from now on.
And I'm taking it to the media room.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, a couple of anecdotal things. This is my first time calling, but I sent you guys an email, a couple of years ago. I don't know whether you remember it or not. It was titled Tyree. When Ren went off on a certain individual about talking about the Buccaneers defensive back coaching and all this other good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's when I called the Kemper.
Great. And
I yelled at the Kemper.
Yes. the little fat toad. But anyway.
I may or may not have said that.
Second, your guys, the podcast you had with Ren one-on-one.
Oh, Ren versus one-on-one?
Podcast, Ren versus one-on-one, I thought that podcast was terrific.
Thank you. Ren hated it.
I know you guys kept complaining about it, but I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Now,
talking about
I'm so excited about this Buccaneers team. I don't know where to start. I was a Jameis Winston fan, although I'm a Florida Gator. I was a Jameis Winston fan. However, one of the things that I've noticed within me, usually when there's a crucial drive and the Bucs need points, whatever else, and we're moving, you're sitting there with your fingers crossed saying, Jameis, please don't turn the ball over.
Right.
Now I don't do that. Now it's like, okay, Tom's going to take us down. We're either going to get a field goal or a touchdown, yada, yada, yada. And, man, this Bucs team is really looking good, especially that defense. Those guys fly all over the field. And today, I think he had a couple of lapses, but I thought Donovan Smith did a pretty good job. I know he gets beat on quite a bit. But I don't know how many offensive plays they've had, but I think he only made like 2 mistakes. So maybe he's coming around.
Reggie, I'll tell you with Donovan, I thought he had an okay first part of the game. Like he wasn't a skull potential for me. But for me, and we got to go back and watch tape and see what actually happened, because I wasn't solely focused on Donovan Smith the whole game. But the second half just did not look good to me at all out of Donovan Smith. But maybe you're right. We'll see. But I know a lot of people, Donovan Smith is that whipping boy. Everybody loves to beat up on him, and he is certainly deserving of it a lot of the time. But sometimes he's not. Sometimes he gets it just because. Reggie, I got a question for you though. And you'll forgive me if you sound like you've been around for a while. Are you like Ren? Are you an old 76er Buccaneers fan from way back in the beginning, or
Brent's calling you an old man?
Actually, one of my first part-time jobs was selling Cokes at the first Buccaneers football game.
Wow,
really?
And, that's cool.
Yeah,
I was always so jealous of those kids. I was always so jealous of those kids because they were like my age, and one, they're out working, but two, they got to watch the games for free. I was so jealous of those kids.
Right. As a matter of fact, I ended up getting fired because they caught me watching the game more than selling Coke. So,
that would have been me too, brother. That would have been me too.
And then I joined the Air Force for 23 years and came back to Tampa and been with the Buccaneers ever since. Season ticket holder, all that other good stuff. But I tell you what, this team is really exciting to watch. And you guys, y'all keep up the good work. Y'all do a fantastic job.
Reggie, thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling in and letting us know all of that. And you are the kind of person that I feel like I want to take out and just let you tell me some stories, because I bet you got some, and I bet they're fantastic. So Reggie, hopefully we hear back from you on a future episode. Okay.
All right. You guys take care.
All right. Thanks go Bucs. Thanks for hanging on for all that time.
Reggie.
Reggie's great, man. That's fantastic.
Starting off the phone call with compliments is always a great idea.
Always good, right?
Yes. We tend to like you right away when you tell us how great we are at the very beginning.
Right.
Now, I feel like Reggie is just one of those people that always sees the good in everyone else.
Right.
And, here's the thing where I am with Donovan Smith. He's in a contract year. And like I said, at the very beginning of all this, like, he may be very injured. Like, he may be just gutting it out because Josh Wells is even as bad as we think, a $12 million left tackle should play, and he's not playing up to it. Wells is going to be worse.
Remember the one play Wells came in last week and everybody went, that's why Donovan's still in.
5-yard loss on a run. That's what happened.
Right.
So, but now let's say he's not injured. And this is how I'm looking through the lens because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's had 2 games and 2 of them have been bad. And your left tackle, you've heard it from the Bucs coaching staff this year. The left tackle, you can't have 1 or 2 plays off. And it's not just 1 or 2 plays. And then that gets expounded because you don't have like you got a Greek statue back there, you know, like it's a very old Greek statue, like from Nero days, it's very brittle. So like it's all that compounds to every time he makes a mistake, it makes it look larger, but he's not playing good enough. Like, you know, as respect to Reggie, I'm not going to, you know, like he's the worst and needs to get out of here, needs to be replaced right away, but he needs to play better. And everybody knows it. He just has to play better.
Yeah. 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 Like I said, I thought he did okay, not great, okay in the first half.
I thought he had a fine first half.
And the second half, it really just seemed to fall apart. And I echo all of those statements of he's not playing good enough. He's just not good enough. And here's the thing, and I will reiterate this, I think, for when we talked about this after week 1. Donovan, this is no longer one game for Donovan Smith. This is no longer give him time to develop. This is no longer he has all the tools and all the potential. He's in year 6, folks. Year 6 in the league. This is when he should be in his prime. I'm let me take that back. This is his prime.
Yeah.
And if this is his prime, then this is who he is. And the Buccaneers can no longer afford to wait on his potential, can no longer afford to wait on him to begin to utilize those tools. The Buccaneers need to make a firm decision as far as what they're going to do. And you bring up a great point about him being injured, and I agree with you. I really hope someone in the media begins to investigate this or talk about it and find out if Donovan Smith actually is injured. Not that it makes it better, but at least it makes us understand a little bit more, because we have seen players, DeMar Dotson, Cameron Brate, and a handful of others that in recent memory, Alex Kappa, who have played through major
injuries that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
And we were like, they didn't have a really good year, did they? And then it comes out like 6 months later, I had a torn labrum for, 19 months or something.
Remember Noah Spence? He played that whole first year with a messed up shoulder.
Yeah, but we knew
had
that.
a great first year, and then he never came back after that. But that first year was pretty great, right? So, yeah. Oh, man.
Donovan Smith is gonna take his unfair bashing, but if he doesn't pull his head out of his ass, he could derail a Super Bowl season because he could get Tom Brady killed.
Yeah, he could. He absolutely could. All right, Ren. Well, I think that's going to bring us to the backside of all of this.
All right.
Why don't we go ahead and close out the show? I'll ask you your sword and your skull. I'll remind everybody the sword is the good one. The skull is the bad one, the numbskull of the game. Your sword, your skull. You guys out in the chat room, I know a lot of you have already dropped it in, but you guys go ahead and drop those in if you haven't yet, and we'll shout those out as well. But Ren, what do you got? Your sword and skull for the game. Only had an hour and 28 minutes to think about it.
No, I just don't want to give it to Winfield because I'm like Winfield can get it. Shaq Barrett can get it. Villa, you
have one. You have one.
I have one. What?
You have one to give out. So.
Oh, I know. Thank you. You might be able to give it to Godwin. You know what? I'm giving it to OJ Howard.
Wow.
I'm giving it to OJ Howard.
That's your sword. All right.
Yeah, that's my sword.
Who's your skull?
I'm also giving it to OJ Howard. No. My skull is going to be. I don't want to give it to Donovan Smith. Leonard Fournette.
Oh my gosh. You did that just because of me, didn't you?
I did.
Yes, that's very fair.
And he didn't really do anything wrong. It's just more of like, haha, you dum-dums who put him in the, Ring of Honor after 2 20-yard runs against the Panthers. That's that Leonard Fournette that I saw today is a Leonard Fournette I remember from LSU and Jacksonville. And I'm sure I'm going to get some what do you in chat and maybe on Twitter, but that's kind of the guy I remember. What bothered me today about Fournette was he didn't fall forward. It looked like I felt like he was turtling when there was yards to be there, he didn't take them today.
Yeah, he certainly had a step back from last year or from last week. And I could be with you on that. I'm going to go with the general consensus and the general population out there. Antoine Winfield Jr. gets the sword for me. Although, while I can only give out one, I think a very honorable mention needs to go to Levante David as well, who just played his lights out today.
What kind of interception was that?
Where he jumped up in the air and like got into a fetal position and caught the ball mid-air. Yeah.
It's like he was on a trampoline doing a back bounce.
Exactly. Yeah. And then for me, it's going to wind up be Donovan Smith just as it went up for the end. Ren, before we go out there to the chat, let's go ahead and bring in our good friend. Let's ask him, Mr. Bucs Nation. You guys make sure you check them out. Subscribe on YouTube. James, who do you got? Who's your sword and skull kicking us off here with this conversation? Oh, James is muted. James, you're muted.
I don't even see him.
You don't see him? Uh-oh. He's changing his stuff.
He's changing his settings.
Uh-oh.
This is what world-class podcasting sounds like.
He tried to put in his AirPods is what it is, and they didn't. They failed him. No, James, I'm going to take you out. Why don't you come back in and let's see if that doesn't restart it. While we're waiting on James to do that, because I definitely want to talk to him as we go through that. But yeah, a lot of people have been putting that in. Like I said, I went Winfield and Smith. And
didn't you pick Winfield as predictive MVP, or was that Rhett?
No, that was me. I picked Winfield. And
congratulations.
Thank you. You definitely made fun of me for it. And
it's kind of my thing.
There you go. All right, let's see here. John Miles gives his sword to Barrett, Shaq Barrett, and Edward John. You can
nice
give out
pick.
one,
nice pick.
One, but you did. And he gives his skull to Donovan Smith.
Shocker.
Let's see here. Moses gives the sword to the entire defense. It's a little cheating. And the skull to the entire run game. Also cheating, but I understand what you're saying there. Our friend Wash, who was on with us earlier, said skull was Smith and the sword was Barrett.
He loves Star Wars.
Joel says defense was the sword with Antoine Winfield Jr. And he says his sword was offense with Miller. Oh, he's splitting. Oh, I see. He's splitting out his sword.
He's giving a sword for offense and defense.
Wow, he found a way to cheat that I can't yell at him for. And his skull is just for the whole team. Smith. Gambit says Winfield and Smith. Let's see here. Ghost says sword was Winfield.
Ghost.
That's Ghost. Right.
Super see-through.
Right. All right. Let's see here. There's a few more. We'll get to that. But let's go ahead and bring in James Money Hill. James.
I see him.
Can you hear me?
I can hear him. Oh,
Thank the Lord. We're all here.
Hey, before you start, why don't you tell people what you're doing? Because I think that's a really cool idea, what you're doing during game day.
Oh, so well, thank you for that, man. I appreciate that, Red.
Yeah.
So on game day, we always live stream reactions to the games. So I from the start of the game till the end of the game, live stream the reaction to the entire thing, get everybody's thoughts and opinions on it throughout the game. Do that right here on YouTube. So it's been awesome, man. I've been doing it now for this has got to be, I think, my second season doing it. So. So far,
I gotta tell you, James. So today was the first day that I jumped into that.
Yeah, I saw that
because I didn't necessarily understand that that's exactly the way you were doing it. But first of all, kind of like with this show, the chat room's popping. The chat room was hilarious to watch. But in many cases, I just muted the TV and listened to you because you sort of did a play-by-play. You also did your own analysis, and I did. I just muted the TV and was listening.
Look out, Gene Deckerhoff. He is getting old.
Okay. Calm down.
Go ahead. All right. So, James, take us there, buddy. Hey, by the way, I'm sorry. Anybody out there, you guys go check out Mr. Bucs Nation on YouTube. Fantastic YouTube channel going on out there. What you got for us, James?
Thank you, man. Oh, well, you guys were talking about swords and skulls, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I've heard your guys' picks. I saw the chat. My sword, the sword's the good one. Skull's the bad one.
Yeah.
For my sword, I'm gonna go an unorthodox pick. I'm gonna go Bradley Pinion.
Oh God!
I thought Bradley Pinion had a pretty good game today. Ren, don't roll your eyes and completely roll your head away from me.
Welcome to the PewterCast, there, James.
Jesus Christ!
Hey, look,
I picked the water boy. He kept him hydrated.
hey,
It's
no,
the unsung
no.
heroes that are
Field positioning today was huge for Bradley Pinion. Okay, he had 3 punts inside the 20. It was phenomenal.
Okay.
You know what?
Hey, no, hold on, James. No, I got you, brother. Don't let him make fun of you about this, because this guy was all about, who was it? Brian Anger, the last punter we had, who like kept pinning him behind like the 5 or the 10. And
the 5 or the 10.
Every week, Ren would just go on about it. So don't let him make fun of you for picking a
punters are people too. Punters are people too.
I like it. I like the pick. I think it's creative. Plus you were kind of pigeonholed. We'd already made our picks. So it's just I don't know. It's a punter.
James, I think if you're looking for your next merch, that's your logo on the t-shirt is punters are people too.
I would have to go through a lot of legal holes for that with the Pat McAfee people probably, or just the NFL. Okay. But for the Skull Man, I don't know. It's tough. I heard Leonard Fournette. That one is a pretty, that one is obviously a big one as well.
It's more of a dig at Brent.
Well,
he didn't do anything wrong. He just wasn't very good.
It was just weird given how obviously he had a 100-yard game last week. You sit there coming into this week thinking, well, what are they going to do with him now? Which really fell flat.
Yeah.
Like
I said it would.
Hey, good prediction then, I mean, that was a good shot. I guess for the Skull Man, I don't know. Brent, we talked about this in the live stream, and I know everybody's been picking it, but specifically Donovan Smith in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we talked about this. I was going to put him for every live stream. I have a good and a bad list. Same thing. The swords and skulls. And I was thinking, should we put Donovan Smith on here? I don't know. And me and Brent were talking about it. And it's like, well, maybe not yet. And then 2 plays in a row.
2 plays later,
just blew it. And then
put him on the list. Put him on the list.
We should probably put him on the list. But like what you said, Ren. Again, I don't know if it's weird. As soon as the defender gets by him, he just stops.
Or even gets even with him.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, and he just gives up. I don't know if you guys remember in week 1, whenever, and obviously he can't control this, but when he gave up a sack on Brady, and he tried to get Brady up, he just darn near dislocated his shoulder.
He spun him in a circle. That was the time when Scotty Miller ran up his butt.
Yeah.
That sack really wasn't his fault, because like Scotty Miller ran up his butt and made him disengage with the defensive end, and then he got around him and sacked Tom Brady. He goes to pick him up, and like he picked him at an awkward angle and starts putting Tom Brady like in a backspin, like he was breakdancing.
Yeah,
and then it twisted his shoulder and his arm, and it was just like, oh, come on, like wasn't giving up a sack enough? Do you have to like tear his ligaments too, Donovan?
Yeah, that was my first thought, was he's going to separate Brady's shoulder or something, and I don't know what's going to happen with that situation. I mean, like you said, Wirfs kind of struggled a little bit today too. It was just, but Donovan Smith, like you said, there's like 6 or 7 plays. And again, I know it's tough with left tackles in the NFL, because obviously you make 4 or 5 bad plays, those are going to be highlighted for weeks, But it was bad, man. Between this game, which wasn't as bad as week 1, because week 1 was just downright atrocious. But I just don't know what to think anymore, I really don't know what to think. I will say shout out to Ryan Suckup for making all of his kicks. That was pretty good.
Of course. You want to do a shout out to the long snapper while you're here?
Hey, you know what? There was one play I saw Zach Trinner make last week where the returner had returned it all the way downfield. He fair caught it. Zach Trinner ran up and just smacked the ball right out of his hands. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. So yes, shout out to Zach Trinner.
Either one. Do you remember was it in the Saints game or was it last week when there was the blocked punt? And I think it was Trinner that went back and tackled the guy.
Oh yeah. I don't remember what game it was in, but hey, he's good.
We had a punt blocked.
I don't know if it was a punt block. It might have been a field goal block.
There was a kick. Yeah, field goal. Something got blocked, and it was Trainer who like stopped the guy from scoring. He went and made the tackle. So
yeah. So
anyway,
Ren, by the way, you made a very interesting point about Antoine Winfield Jr. Slotting right into that slot cornerback role when Sean Murphy-Bunting went down. He's playing phenomenal. And with Chase Young with the groin injury, and obviously we don't know how long that could be, but Antoine Winfield Jr. is playing like a defensive rookie of the year right now, man. It's been pretty darn incredible to watch. One of the biggest things I was happy with coming away from this game was the communication and the chemistry, not so much the discipline, but communication and chemistry it just seems like it's getting better, especially on offense and special teams.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought the special teams had a great day. Like whoever were playing gunner defense on punts. Oh, I don't like when that guy jumped over the center, like I thought you couldn't do that anymore. But then I remembered you can't take a running start.
You can't like run up you can't push off somebody to jump over.
Right. But you can't take a running start and jump and clear. You have to basically do it from like a one step, which is really hard to do. And he did it and blah, blah, blah. Who cares?
On our side.
But I thought the Gunners gave Mickens time to catch the ball and actually make some yardage for the first time, like this entire year, and maybe like for the past 2 years.
He almost broke one on the safety whenever they
on the kickoff,
on the kickoff
or the punt
on the
off, free kick, free kick.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway because there was a blocking in the back penalty, but
that's when the penalty started to come out. What I like about Winfield is, like, you look at him and you go, if I had 11 guys like him on defense, we'd never lose.
Yeah.
You know,
pretty much.
If you had 11 guys on him on defense, you would have no salary cap ever for the offense.
That's true. It's going to be interesting to see how that's 4 years away from now. You know, we don't have to talk about that now, but he's one of those guys where I know it's only a 3-week sample size, but we're almost a month in and it's like, yeah, he's actually getting better every single week. It's pretty impressive. Like they didn't have a mini camp. They, had limited training camp, no preseason. Everybody's been saying that for weeks now, but like Winfield Jr. and Wirfs have been so impressive out of the gate here for the first month. And they really shouldn't be. They should be struggling more than they really are, Like we should be seeing Donovan Smith's play and Tristan Wirfs' play reversed, technically.
Yeah.
Right? But we're not. Wirfs is playing better than Donovan Smith. Ren, you had said that flipping Wirfs over to the left side and then putting Hagen on the right side, if this continues, obviously, with Donovan Smith, I wonder if they're considering that too. It might be too much too early for him. It's kind of maybe to say, look, just figure out the right tackle position first, then we'll think about moving you over. Like next year or something like that.
That's the way. If you ask that question to BA on Monday, that's how you'll find out if Donovan Smith is injured or not.
Right.
Because if you put him on the defensive, like, hey, don't say, oh, Donovan Smith had a bad game. I know he's been playing hard in practice, but just go, BA, have you given it any thought, or be like, because of Donovan's play, have you given any thought to moving Wirfs over to the left side and putting Hagen right tackle? And he'll go, whoa, Donovan's, whoa. Donovan's working his butt off. He's been injured, even since last year. And that's how you get this, if he's not injured, he might go, well, Donovan knows that he needs to play better and we're going to get that worked out or we'll make a change. Like those are going to be the two answers you get. So good job, James. That's how we find out if Donovan Smith is injured or not.
Press credentials for James. Let's go.
Okay. Calm. So
yeah, it was my question.
Couple more things I thought was interesting was I saw a lot of people say today, like, we need to be like, just in my live stream chat, we need to be a passing offense. The run game isn't working. The run off, we're not blocking well enough in the run game, which is true. It's been a few years now. We still can't run block. I don't know why, but we can't. Especially, I don't mean to harp on the guy. Donovan Smith can't run block that well.
Right.
He's really not doing a great job. But we need to be a passing team. I'm looking at it right now. 20 runs between both the running backs, and Brady threw 38 passes today.
Right.
So I was a little surprised at that. I thought that I was going to,
it's a little more weighted to the passes.
Yeah, I thought I was.
But you're still running the ball, and we still put up 28 points.
Yeah,
and we're ahead. What do you want?
Yeah,
I mean, not you. I'm kind of putting this out there.
I'm sorry. No, but I'm not saying that to discredit people. I'm saying it because I was kind of interested at like why didn't the running backs get more carries today? Because obviously with Fournette, like what Ren was saying, he just didn't really have a great game.
Yeah. You know who else didn't have a great game rushing today?
Who's that?
Tom Brady.
Yeah, he had 5 rushes for 0 yards. Tom Brady.
Well, I think if there's anybody who I could get forgiven the world for having a rough rushing game, I think it would be Tom.
I'm not paying somebody $25 million to have 0 yards on 5 carries.
There it is, Ren.
I know. It's the new way.
Call BA. Find out why we're paying him so much. Imagine where we could have taken that money and spent it elsewhere.
That's $35 million for 4 catches.
It's a new
15 yards.
It's a new wave of the NFL too. You need to have a scrambling quarterback. We don't have one, so I don't know how we're going to win games. You know,
Josh Rosen in 2 years.
Yeah, maybe it's Josh Rosen, but I just wanted your guys' thoughts real quick on the run blocking. Why don't you think they can? What do you think's going on there? That's like
curse of George Warhop. Ren.
I think they should try some more zone schemes, and sort of like the offensive line all blocks to the left and let the running back pick the hole. They're really hell bent on doing this power stuff, where it's you get the guy in front of you and you blow him off the ball, and if there's not a guy over you, you help the guy on the right or left of you, to start, make sure he's got good contact, and you go to the second level. The problem with that is if any of those blocks fail, the run fails. When you run a zone scheme where everyone's just kind of going the same way, and all you got to basically do is get your hands on the guy and just kind of just ride him, because he's going to be going that way too, because that's the way the play is flowing. So you just kind of keep riding him, and then the running back has 3 or 4 places to look, put his foot in the ground, and go. I think that's like I said last year, like I have no idea why people run 3-4 defenses, or 4-3 defenses. Everyone should run a 3-4. It's just, fundamentally it's just a better defense. And I feel the same way about zone schemes against power schemes, because you can run power schemes in college. Like if you're, University of Wisconsin, you're just going to wear these guys down, or University of Iowa, like you're just going to wear you're bigger, stronger, faster. Your 5-star recruits everyone across from you, a 2 or a 3 most of the time, and that's where power looks great, and it's very demoralizing to the defense and the whole team. But I mean, that's what I would do. That's at least what I would try. But to be honest, I really haven't cared enough or been frustrated enough by the run game yet to sort of like sit down and look at it and go, okay, here's the problem. Like last year, it was Donovan Dot was the problem.
Yeah,
you couldn't run at Dot because he couldn't get his guy to move, especially if you lined him with the inside shoulder, and you couldn't run away from Dot because he couldn't hook the guy. He couldn't get inside the guy and turn him in the backside, because he'd always give up the backside pursuit and they'd always make the tackle. That was the problem with the run game last year. This one, I just like there's too many other things to tackle right now. Like Brady, like BA's mean to Brady, and Gronk's being paid too much money just to block, and whatever comes out this week. Yeah. So, and we're winning, and I think we're going to win until we play Green Bay, and we'll see what happens. And like you said, there's more than one way to win a football game. Remember last year when Tennessee was rolling through everybody, and everybody on Twitter, we need a run game. We need power, like Derrick Henry. That's the way to win games. The Bucs can do it. And then they lost to Kansas City, and like no one said shit. Like nobody ever talked about the power run game ever again. So like there's lots of ways to win. Look at the hockey. Dallas and Tampa Bay are completely constructed totally different. One of them's going to win the cup. The Rays are completely constructed different than the Yankees. They're both in the playoffs. There's only one team is going to win the Super Bowl. That doesn't mean it's the best way to win, because Tennessee was an AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So
that makes a lot of sense to me. Another thing I wanted to ask you guys. I have a couple more things before we head out, or before I head out.
Wrap us up,
what's going to happen with these running back snaps with moving forward? Because obviously LaShawn McCoy is pretty stuck as the receiving back.
Yeah.
But Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, I can't figure it out.
I think it's one of those things, quite honestly, it's got to be frustrating to the coaches, because what the coaches would like to have is have one guy come in and solidly win the spot and just handily take it over. And neither one is doing that right now. Like last week, it was Fournette. This week, Rojo had probably his best week as a runner, but it's still not great. And he only got 51 yards on 17 yards. That's 4 yards a run, but still, it's not terrific. He didn't light it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and there was like Rojo, what was it like? Was it a first down or maybe a touch or something? And he didn't like, he stopped it because he stepped out of bounds. Like just wasn't aware of where he was and wound up stepping out of bounds.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't, or maybe it was a pass or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was something. I remember him very specifically stepping out of bounds. So, but I think it's the coaching staff is just going to be frustrated, and they're going to keep doing it exactly like they've been doing it until one takes off with it. You know?
Well, do you guys, because I think they'll probably go back to their original answer, which was, hey, Ronald Jones the starter unless he does something bad enough to where he shouldn't.
What do you mean go back?
Well, I mean continue with that.
Okay, yeah.
Continue with that. I use
just
wrong
like what I've been saying since Fournette got here and when McCoy got here. It's Ronald Jones' game to lose, and whoever gets the ball in the fourth quarter, it's whoever they think has the better chance for them to win, or whoever has the hot hand.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it. Period. End of story.
Because I'm looking at the numbers. Like obviously, I know Ronald Jones 13 carries, Leonard Fournette 7, but I feel like they're still really pushing for Ronald Jones to be everything right now. You know, because he got just as many targets as LaShawn McCoy. He got 4 targets. Same amount of catches, almost the same amount of yards as LaShawn McCoy, literally to the number. So it's, I think that they're still kind of hoping like, okay, Ronald, come on, man, come on, let's get it going, man. Come on, we really need you to have this breakout game. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it changes.
Do they need him to have the breakout game, or do you need him and fans need him to have the breakout game? Because we just won the game by 18 points.
Right.
I mean,
I'm always one for people to have breakout games. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't think the coaching staff cares. I feel like the fan base would care more. Yeah. You know, still, yeah. I don't know.
You know who's never won a Super Bowl? Who's fan base.
Well, yeah. That's good. That's a good point.
All right, James, buddy. I hate to wrap you up. We're getting to that spot of the show. What else you got before we do this?
2 more things.
Gotcha.
One.
Okay, Prime.
That's the first time I've ever heard. Perfect. That's the first time I've ever heard Prime talk before.
He's amazing.
That guy should make YouTube videos.
Yeah,
he should.
There's a reason we brought him on the show, you know, way back in the summer, and who knows what else might happen. Yeah.
I think he's great. He has good lighting, takes notes. Awesome.
Good lighting.
We just got to fix his microphone, and I'm good.
I thought his microphone even sounded pretty good. Shout out to Prime. Okay. Well, he should make YouTube videos. Secondly, congrats to you guys on 1,000 subscribers here.
Oh, thanks, man. And
you guys deserve it.
No, and a big thank you back to you, because James, you were a big part behind the scenes of helping to make that happen and kind of getting stuff situated that put us into a position to go over the top there. And thank you for saying that, and thank you for the role that you had in that. It is very, very much appreciated.
Of course, because I know you guys wanted to get going on YouTube here for a long time now. Yeah. So
well, it's I mean, we've always had a YouTube channel since the founding of the show. It's just sort of been another place where the show got dumped. And last year we really started trying to use it and figure out what it means. And we've just taken another step with it this year. So, but definitely I think, James, hang on with this, because we're going to go ahead and close out the show, and I'll just let you do it with us. Okay. Ren, you got any final thoughts as we shut down the show here tonight?
Yeah, I like James to tell the story of back when he was a wee lad and he remembers getting his 1,000th subscription on YouTube. What was that like for you?
It was weird. It was really weird. That happened a couple years ago. It was, it felt weird because it's like, wow, 1,000 people are interested in talking about the Bucs. Like you can't even think about like that. And just, it's weird. It's like you're sitting in your room. Yeah. You're sitting in a random room talking about a team that at the time sucked.
Yeah.
And there's 1,000 subscribers. So like it was, you never think you get there,
Mm-hmm.
So it was a phenomenal feeling. I was super excited. I was telling everybody, telling Gabby, I was like, oh my God, do you see this? Freaked out about it. It was great. It's all, and I'll tell you guys this, it snowballs. So now that you're past that initial 1,000, it's just going to snowball.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. I'm still waiting on that email from them to say, hey, here's what you can do now.
Congrats.
But, we'll talk about that. Yeah. All right, Ren, you got anything else for us, or you know how to close out the show? Go ahead and take us there.
I don't have anything. I think we've covered it in these 2 hours.
Quite extensively. So everyone listening and are still listening to the podcast feed later,
congratulations.
You're awesome. For any of you who are, we've still got a good number of live viewers, like a really good number of live. This is at least double what I think we had generally at a high mark most of the time last year. So thank you guys for sticking out, especially any of you who've been with us for the entire 2-hour run. Ren, tell the folks where they can find you out there on the internet.
Should James go first?
Well, I was going to go with you, then James.
You're going to let James go after me?
Oh my God.
You're making me the underliner? Wow. Okay. Hi, my name's Ren Dax. I'll be opening for James Money Hill tonight.
Okay.
Best place. Don't give me those eyeballs. Best place to find me is on Twitter at Rendax, REN_DAXT. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football, but if your take is too hot or you don't want to put it out there in the Twitter sphere, feel free to slide in my DMs and I will talk Buccaneers football and anything else with you there also as well too.
James, you joined us here at the end. Tell the folks where they can get in touch with you out there, Mr. Bucs Nation, out there on the internets.
Exactly that. Mr. Bucs Nation on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can follow me on there. Post sometimes about the Buccaneers. Also here on YouTube, try and make a video pretty much every day here talking about the Bucs. That's pretty much it, man. Always trying to put out content and bring the community closer together and get us all talking about the team that we all love. So it's good stuff.
There you go. You guys definitely make sure you check that out. And if you guys want to get in touch with me, you can find me at Brent Allen Live across all the social medias. And the show is at the PewterCast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And find us out there on the World Wide Web at thepewtercast.live. Obviously, youtube.com/thepewtercast. You guys have just heard we just crossed that 1,000 mark. We're actually really close to 1,100. So it's picking up, which is awesome. Yeah. So listen, you guys go out there and hey, if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube,
probably with James on the show.
If you guys haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, why don't you guys go ahead and do that now? And we would certainly appreciate that. That helps out the show, helps us out to grow. And you can find all the ways to get in touch with us there on the website, thepewtercast.live. Guys, tune in with us this week. We got a big guest coming up, literally a big guest coming up. And we'll talk to you guys at the end of the week as well. We'll see you then, guys. And until next time, go Bucs.
I forgot.